because let's look at these opening hands. Sorry, the game is starting.
Oh my gosh, we've got Francisco on the left as Andromeda Rebirth in the opening hand.
It's the dream.
It's the dream.
Looking at security testing. Obviously, you don't.
He's got a Desperado, sure gamble, security testing.
Is that sure gamble? Where?
Oh,
yeah,
right
that is
there in the middle.
So he's got a great opening hand.
I think he has the perfect opening hand
have
for
to keep
Andromeda.
this.
You
Like, there's
can't
no
ask
reason
for
you
better.
mulligan. I couldn't see John's hand too well because I was looking at the other hand, but he's taking a mulligan anyway.
He's got Palana over there on the right.
And just so people know, yeah, MWL is in full effect here. We're not doing any weird rules. This is a regional,
Official.
FFG section. So yeah, we're not, fudging anything. Someone in the chat was just mentioning that, but
sure,
it's good. It's important to know. Yeah, MWL packs legal up until Liberated Mind we just dropped a week ago.
Yep.
And so John, I think that's a Nisei.
He's
and
going
a
for
Caprice
it.
in hand.
He's got Caprice, Nisei,
and Gift. You just gift right here.
And a Brain Trust. Well, so he's got two fairly important agendas in hand, although he does have one piece of ice.
Just one ice. That would not be Nisei in HQ. Whoa.
Well, so he's up against a criminal, and so he most likely wants to secure that HQ.
He doesn't want to get siphoned for nothing.
That's right.
Makes
All right,
sense.
so the sure gamble, Andromeda feeling great, Desperado first turn, feeling amazing.
Security
testing.
This setup is insane.
And
Rebirth.
there it is, ladies and gentlemen, our first Rebirth of the day
into
Leela.
He doesn't even break any other cards. He knows it's always going to be Leela.
He's
like,
ready to go.
I don't have any other choices.
This is the dream. So much value coming out of Criminal right now. This is the kind of Rebirth action we want to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Francisco remembers to remove Rebirth from the game and not have it sitting in his heap there because it is removed from the game.
If it comes into play, we'll maybe say so. But I think it's very interesting that he didn't even, he doesn't have other options with him.
No question.
It's either it's Leela or nothing.
That's right. Such a powerful ID, particularly if you have it right at the beginning of the game.
And he's got
maximum
RD,
number of triggers.
He's living the dream here. He has RDI with a hotel. Because, Criminal needs draw.
Of course.
He's got a hotel. He's the punishes here.
So he's put the RDI down. He's running R&D. Misses. And Political Dealings, a very interesting card out of Palana, allowing you, with some various other effects like Jeeves, to rapidly score agendas out of hand.
Interesting. Yeah, so he's definitely looking like a fast advanced build where he wants to draw, score.
So Frankie's feeling great. Not only does he have the draw, but he has excellent breakers in hand and a special order allowing him to get his whole rig if he feels like it.
Yeah, he's a little bit low on econ. That Fem is not coming down anytime soon. Caprice, that's huge to trash.
He does have Desperado and security testing, and with very few ice, John doesn't have much way to deny him that economic advantage. One of the best
things about Desperado this early, that econ advantage of where you can just check stuff for funsies,
That's right.
And just still get the credit, the value.
Ooh.
And here's the thing we should look at, because here's one of the things I don't really agree with on Palana, and especially this inclusion of the Agroplex. I feel too often it helps the runner more than it helps the corp. Here, maybe not, because he's going full on in the political dealings, try to score out as fast as possible.
Right.
And he's playing a faction that actually it's more easier to do so, because there's no clout to worry about.
Sure.
If he can do it if he gets set up. But it really looks like he's running into a bad spot without ice, because he can't protect any of his things. He can't protect the political dealings. He can't protect R&D. Is going to be really rough. Every turn is free. 2 cards. There's only so long you can live with this.
But at this point, he needs any kind of draw that he can get, and that might include the Agroplex to see.
Yeah, to get that ice. So it makes sense.
Get some ice online.
It makes sense that's online right now. But it's interesting that that he's not just doing R&D.
Well, so he's building up his econ. Yeah. He's got these open remotes, checking R&D.
Scored.
And the medical breakthrough off the top.
He's okay with it. It's
but as Leela, he can bounce a card. Interesting that he didn't choose the HQ. I guess without account siphon in hand, he's not as excited about that. Yeah. But man, at this point, John's got to be feeling the heat.
That's a great ice right now, actually, too. Surugi.
That's right. At this point.
Ferry only goes through once. And
very
then
nice.
We might even catch him off guard where he's just like, hey, let's just... No, he's not going to... I don't think he will just run, because John's got a lot of money. He's not just going to face check it. It's a good time to gift right now, I think.
I agree.
Got a lot of cards in hand. You gift, you get a huge econ advantage, you install that ice. You're going to buy yourself some time, which is what you need right now.
However, the Leela player might consider dropping Femme Fatale from hand and continuing to rain the pressure on RD.
He's got a decent amount of cash.
I mean, between security testing, he just got a bank job.
Yeah, he just bank job. So he security test, gains 3, Femmes it. Yeah, that amount of I think that might actually be the right play. That's a lot of pressure.
So they're calling over the judge. not exactly sure what they are wondering about.
So we'll go with clicks 1 and 2.
I think maybe he was supposed to discard down last turn, and he noticed his hand size is too large. That's the only reason I can see some random card just go down.
He did seem to have a lot of cards in hand.
Why'd you show him the ice? Show him agendas. Don't show him the ice.
That's a tough call, though. Knowing the agendas are in hand.
You show him like one random agenda. It's one agenda. You've got an ice, an HQ, and a Caprice. What are you worried about?
That's true.
Because he has no breaker. So you've shown him what breaker he needs, in a way. Like, what's weird is you showed him a Sentry, right? Which is the hard, the thing. Like, you don't want to face check.
That's
so now he's like, oh, I'm going to get Sentry breaker. Even if that happens to be the barrier you didn't show me, I'm not going to, like, risk face checking it.
Right.
So, I think it would be better to show agenda.
John's in a tough spot, though, and I don't know if it's money that he needs.
Oh, the Fem, you called it.
The Fem is on the table.
It's actually a really good play. I agree with this a lot.
So he's got the RDI, he's got the Desperado. Yeah. This is the kind of pressure that you need.
It sucks that it's Tsurugi, where the Fem isn't doing anything, because Fem is the same strength as Tsurugi. He's just going to have to pay through the subroutine, so I think you res for sure.
But it is guaranteeing the access.
Yeah, because he doesn't know that. So that's why it's still it's a good play. It's just unfortunate that it happens to be Tsurugi, because it could have been anything random.
Sure. So he's in. He's got the RDI. No agendas. Got the Ash.
It's a tough choice, because his Econ, he's got to be like at 5 credits now.
I do think that is worth trashing. Jon is at an economic advantage at the moment, so an Ash hitting the table might guarantee an agenda score.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's checked archives, keeping him honest, gaining credit.
Free run.
Hey, that's so Desperado. Worth it.
Yeah, but yeah, now he's a little bit poorer. He's down to 4 credits. You're doing what's it called? Not investment seminar. You're doing a career fair. So that's good. It's good. He can get something good going. Maybe lay down that hotel with the career fair would be cool. Then you can draw more into more econ pieces.
That would be nice.
Let's take a look at what he's got real quick for econ. He's got 1 Katie, 2 of them bank jobs.
Dirty laundries.
3 siphons, which I think he would have preferred if, he could have some of that going right now.
So what are you thinking if you're Jon at this point? You're down 2 points. The runner's got a very nice rig in the works. How do you get out of this situation?
Well, see, what he's doing right now is, like, I think what his game plan is, like, if he puts the Caprice on HQ, agendas can, hang out there, effectively okay. And then he waits until, he can protect the political dealings, just score out of hand.
That's fair.
And if he's probably on a good step there, because now the medical breakthrough is a 3-2 now.
Right.
So he's okay with him stealing that. Like, that's, like, the best thing he could have stolen for Jon.
Right. That being said, scoring agendas out of hand at the moment may not be the best course of action now that Francisco is Leela. Opening up any sort of server like HQ could be bad news.
Yeah, so he has to double ISIS server before he does anything, which is the real power of Leela.
Yes.
Single ice is just not going to get there, except obviously that one's res there. So that's another Ash.
Second Ash, it appears. Get
out of here.
Oh,
Pup.
And Pup. Maybe a nice little...
no, that has to go in front of R&D immediately. Francisco is... Actually maybe not even immediately. Francisco has drained himself to 0.
Wow.
Which is really a rough spot to be in. Because the Corp could usually leverage this into their advantage.
That being said...
Jon's at 21 credits.
Yep. Oh, and
Architect.
Jon is an Architect. This could be really impactful, particularly because this is very taxing for Femme Fatale.
Yeah. I'm sure Frankie's got some other sort of breaker. He's got Mongoose.
And he's just drawn a Fairy, so he's got that in hand as well for emergency situations.
Yeah, from out of rough start, it looks like Jon's like getting the control of this game now.
It is certainly shifting back in his favor.
It's a hard choice to make, so I know it's criminal. How all in are you going to go in that early game? Because you can score a lot of points. Like he got a lot of good accesses. He just happened not to hit.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Film Critic drawn now. An interesting include in a Leela deck. Sometimes helpful, sometimes negating your ability.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, but you get to choose if you negate your ability.
Sure.
But I think it's really good for sync tech. You don't want to get tagged.
That's
also
very
good
true.
For anyone who's going to do mid-seasons to you.
He's got the Fairy. He's now got double security testing, so money is not going to be that big of a concern in a few turns.
The Earth rises up. Nice alt art, same old thing.
Oh, very fancy.
Political dealings is coming up.
Rezzed. Is this going to be an agenda score?
He didn't check R&D this turn.
So he's drawn an agenda. He can reveal it.
Installs it.
Immediately install it.
And now he draws Mandatory, which he doesn't have to show him.
Sure.
Which is great, because now that he's
very nice.
Advanced 3 times. He's on board.
There you go.
He's in a comfortable spot now.
And he's going to deal that net damage. And hopefully Francisco remembers
the sure is actually a good thing to hit here. Because he doesn't have a Mongoose yet. That fairy is only going to do so much.
So he's bounced the HQ ice. This could
is
be really dangerous. There
are
lots of agendas in HQ.
Not only that, he's running at a blank Caprice.
Which is the ideal situation.
Earthrise Fires.
At this point, if you're Francisco, I might consider just hammering HQ, all 4 clicks.
I think you have to go do security testing first. You don't have the money to really do that. 3 credits.
Jon has preemptively read Caprice Nisei. This is necessary because without any ice, where Francisco to run, there is no window.
There's no Wizard of Res Caprice.
So this is a tough one. How many times can you afford to play the game? Jon is actually in a fairly stable economic position.
I would do all 3 clicks without hesitation. For first click is security testing, so you have the money to do it because 3 credits is not enough.
Yep.
And then all 3 clicks.
There you go.
You bid 1 the first game. No, don't do Data Sucker. Oh, God, that's such a mistake.
I don't know about this. I think you've got to really...
It's never going to get better than this. Okay, it's fine. 2 axes is good, but like you're hoping you're going to use the Data Sucker. No, it's not going to happen.
This is a tough one.
Do HQ, please. Don't do it. Don't hurt me here.
So he's going to HQ.
He's going to HQ. Bid 1.
Game.
You're going to bid 1, right? 1's good here. Because Jon, he's not going to bid 2.
I think Jon assumes Francisco bid 0. We'll see. We'll see.
What would you bid? What do you got to tell? You have to say it.
Hey, 1.
1.
Oh, and they've both gone 0.
Oh, God, I'm so bad at this game.
This is brutal.
Trash Caprice, run again. He's going to hit. It's 3 out of 5, right now?
I believe this is his 3rd click. It's a, 3 and 5. Oh, and these are the Nisei Mark IIs in hand. Powerful agendas.
There's 2 Niseis and, wow, Lotus Field.
The miss?
How does he have that many cards in hand? Yes. Oh, Leela bounce, so he has 6. Bounce. Oh, that sucks. So it's 3 out of 6.
Okay.
Do it again, do it again, do it again. You can't miss.
Ooh.
It's 2 Niseis and some other random agenda.
Even if he misses this turn, he's got a powerful position for future turns. So he's remembered the Rebirth is removed from the game. Same old thing, Rebirth. To flip your ID again.
Can't do it. Back to Andy.
Yeah, that's right.
What? I need that link. It's worth those 2 clicks.
That's value.
Yep.
Francisco, deep in thought. I'm wondering.
I mean, there's some danger in running last click against, what's it called? Jinteki. Snares can happen. You know,
that's true.
There's some things to worry about. It's a fact.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, my God.
He's decided to run a political dealing server.
I guess this is fair. This is also a good decision because he could just score next turn. You know, with the draws.
That's true.
So that's fair. I don't think it's a bad choice. But it probably might be the right choice too, because he could draw another 3/2. It exists. Oh, Jeeves coming into play.
Oh,
is that Jeeves?
Yes, that appeared to be a Jeeves on the board.
Lotus Field in front of HQ.
Now
very
this
good,
is
very good.
Really great for Jon. He's really happy about this one.
Yeah, that Jeeves is going to be nasty.
Man, that could have been a real turning point.
It's actually bad for Jon. He has so many agendas in hand now. Because with the Jeeves online, he could draw Nisei, install, off the political. Political dealing is gone now, but the combos there are just so good.
Francisco getting a huge amount of value between dirty laundry and security testing.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
On that remote.
It's like, hey, I had 3 credits. Now I don't.
That's right.
Do the other security testing, man. Full value.
Full
you
value.
Need money more than anything right now.
So is it worth going out of your way to attempt to get that account siphon to land at this point in the game?
Without a breaker and you seeing a Lotus Field in your earlier access, I don't think so.
I don't know if it's worth blind firing, but perhaps he pressures HQ here with
I would try to get it, off. I think the siphon is going to be a huge deal because Jon's money is running not low, but it's if you take 5 off there and you gain 5, 10, it's a big deal.
Certainly could be. So he's gone in for that security testing. Those data sucker counters may be relevant for something like Architect.
No, it's good for Fem.
Exactly, for lowering Architect for Fem. And there it is.
Oh, data sucker value coming in.
There you go.
1 to lower. You don't use credits to lower stuff, man. Bad play. You just did that. What? No, fix it, please.
I'm not exactly sure.
You used a credit to lower.
Yeah. This isn't Worm that we're playing with.
I couldn't count everything, but I was
there
like,
you go.
what just happened?
So
I heard him say one. I heard him say 1 to lower and move a credit.
Yep.
I was like, no. Oh, he does not have the money to charge that.
That's right. Oh, and a Wall of Thorns. A very interesting include on Jon's part.
He's being a little too aggressive here, I think. Like, what? We just watched him go from 10 to 2. And that's fine in some, but like, I don't know. I think the pressure should be at HQ. I think Frank's going to realize that soon. HQ is 4.
That's so tough.
I mean, I think the Caprice early was a big tell, and you haven't seen any agendas come out of it at HQ, you know, the whole game. The only agenda scored was from R&D, technically.
Right. At this point, you have to imagine they're piling up, and with Jackson arriving, that may change.
Yeah.
Clearing out
That's
the
one of the most, like, soul-crushing things, when you know, like, you're setting up, and you know you're going to just do awesome legwork, and then you see Jackson at the table, you're like, God, I waited too long.
Yeah. At this point, it is too late, potentially.
Yeah. Well, you can't ditch everything. So there's at least going to be 1 in hand, and if he hits the Jackson again, he might even get more agendas. Enigma's a great choice.
So Jon is piling up the code gates here, now on the outside of R&D and also on HQ. That Philotic Entanglement, I'm not sure if you noticed earlier, hit the special order in Francisco's hand. Could be relevant in finding his decoder in time.
He's got 2 decoders.
All right.
We've got a Peacock and a Passport.
Okay.
Peacock.
Hey, if you got to get into a remote, you got to do it.
I mean, influence is really tight for criminals because you need those RDIs.
Right. Well, and he does have the data sucker, which is going to make something like Peacock a little more palatable.
Yeah, the other influence it went to 2 corroders.
So he's heading into HQ, is going to bounce off of this Lotus Field, but now he knows what's on there.
I think that's a great run anyway, just to get the res to happen, because you're not worried about any pain. You've got your Barrier Breaker, your Sentry Breaker.
Correct.
I think you just take a couple build turns here.
So Jon has just drawn clones are not people.
A political statement in many ways.
Indeed. A fascinating current for Jinteki, allowing them to get that extra agenda point.
Yeah. I think it's one of the most interesting things about the game now, where, like, you know, it used to be just notoriety. And no one played notoriety for a long time.
That's right.
And then food came out, and people were like, man, it sucks. I have to steal so many agendas. Let's start running notoriety. And it's amazing. And I was like, why was I not running this card before? Some Jeeves actions about to happen.
Jeeves is rezzed, and it appears he's using Jeeves to get maximum efficiency on his clicking for credits and getting an extra click, with which perhaps he will install more ice.
Protect the Jeeves.
That, if I'm not mistaken, appears to be a Draco.
For real? I couldn't tell what it was. I thought it was like a Turing because of, like, the art. I was like, that's not a Turing though. Is it Draco? For reals?
So he does have the Draco in the deck as a one-of.
Wow.
An interesting include.
I haven't seen Draco played for 2.5 years. Exactly.
Your joke earlier about Link being relevant may come back to bite.
He has the same old thing back to Andy now. That's the counter. He's got the counter. He's got the counter. It'll be okay. That's interesting, the Draco. It used to be like, you know, a siphon dump thing. But then it's still a trace. Like it's an interesting ice. But I don't think. I don't know. For me personally, I think Jinteki has enough sentries. Like, why Draco? I'll ask him. Yeah, hopefully the game adds soon enough we can do an interview.
Sure.
I'm very interested about the Draco tech.
Well, he is putting it on the remote, so it's not necessarily a piece of ice that's going to be run that often, but it might do the trick in stopping Francisco the one time that it matters.
With Data Sucker and Fem, unlikely. But you're right. Another situation is yes.
Sure. Well, and let's look at Jon's credit pool at this point. Only 5 credits. And a tough position. If an account siphon can land in the near future,
imagine if you had special order. You could just do special order, lay it down, siphon.
So he's considering the res here on the remote.
No res.
No res. Tough.
Jeeves
bites the dust.
Not getting so much value from Jeeves. Paid 2 to res it, clicked it, took 3 credits. Basically, I don't know. I don't want to do that right now. Too much thinking.
It's very limited.
God, this criminal is so. The ups and downs of that credit pool is crazy.
It's rough.
It's like every turn you see it go up to 10, and then it goes back down to 2 by the end of the turn.
But at least he's being aggressive and actively attacking the corporation's assets and making runs that he thinks are impactful.
No, he's made some really good runs. The run on the Lotus Field, even though he didn't get in, that 5 credits is a big deal.
I agree.
Because we can see Jon, he's driven into another Caprice, and I bet he's debating where to lock down. I think R&D is fine. The amount of money it's costing to go there is enough that I think now you want to maybe make a remote with that Caprice and then try to establish another political dealings.
That is a decent idea.
Or try to move up to that restructure level. Yeah,
at this point I think Jon is really staring hard at that 10 credit cost of the restructure there, and not looking very comfortable.
Yeah, he needs to get that restructure. If he ever wants to play Clones Are Not People, that's expensive, because then you also have to advance your agenda that same turn.
Yep.
It's expensive.
All that money.
I think you could just install the Caprice and take 2.
It's not the worst idea.
Maybe even put it in front of HQ, actually, because then you make him think there's more there than there actually is, because you only have 1 agenda right now.
Appears 2 at this point.
Oh, that's 2? Oh, I guess, sorry.
I think he's drawn a Brain Trust.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of in a tricky spot. Both players low credits.
Where do you think the Caprice should go? Okay, he's in the remote.
I think the remote is a reasonable line of play at this point.
Yeah, that was my first instinct, remote take 2. Just so now next turn, if you're basically committed to not rezzing.
Yep.
And then you can play that restructure next turn and get yourself in a good spot.
Well, the thing that having that Caprice in the remote allows Jon to do is score in such a way that doesn't necessarily cripple him in the way that fast advancing agenda would against Leela.
Also, it makes it that he doesn't have to get political dealings.
That's right. He's got double Dirty Laundry, unbelievable value, unbelievable, huge amount of credits.
Yeah, I think if I was Frank, though, I would wait before spending it like on an R&D dig this turn.
I agree. I might be tempted to start moving towards getting that decoder online, even though he does not have the special order in hand. He does have a same old thing on the table. Could consider either drawing aggressively or waiting for an Earthrise to tick, or specifically tutoring out that decoder.
Yeah, I mean, with the same old thing is so hard to burn right now, because once you get your first siphon, you could control the game, because there's no Caprice. All you have to do is get a Code Gate Breaker, go through it. And a Passport is actually really good against Lotus Field.
Oh, yeah.
Because he pumps for 2 and then just break it.
Unbelievable efficiency there. And very cheap to install.
Yeah, the 1 to install is...
So it looks like Francisco has challenged the Caprice in the remote.
He let him just go there?
Jon refusing to res in a tough economic position. Jon is on 10 credits.
I know, he really wants to play
He really wants that restructure.
But you just lost... Well, he has interns. It's fine. Oh, he has interns in hand.
He does have interns
so it's
and
okay.
Jackson.
Man, that's Frank's going to be feeling good about that. No ice res, just the pop, straight up kill a Caprice.
Hey, at this point, his Caprice killing skills are on
I think he's
point.
doing a special order like you mentioned, same old thing.
So he's gone for special order.
He's going to get Passport, 100%.
There we go.
Peacock.
Peacock.
I guess he wants to make sure that R&D ice, if it's a code gate, he can go through it.
That's right.
That's fair. That's fair.
Perhaps he...
How much is Peacock? 2. Okay, actually, it's only 1 more credit to break that Lotus Field as well, because it's 2 to pump and 2 to break a subroutine. So
right,
he's only paying 1 more credit. So I guess it's okay.
At this point, if he's decided he's in a stable enough economic position, perhaps he could swing it. Interesting, though.
Nisei.
Drawn another Nisei. The agendas just keep rolling. Not a lot of answers.
Restructure. Click
He's drawn the second Jeeves. Put it in a new server. Note he's running 3 Jeeves model Bioroids in this deck.
How much is influence on each Jeeves?
Well, so he has the Alliance package satisfied, I believe.
So they're free.
It appears so. Between Ash, Architect, and Eli, that is making the Jeeves no influence.
Oh, cool. Powered. Okay, so now he's invested. He's restructured, invest more into the remote.
There you go.
Seems to be his plan. But the problem here is he lost the best thing of the remote, which was the Caprice.
That's right.
Because he's gonna, that money alone is not gonna, that ice alone is not gonna keep him out. He's shown he drew. Oh my God, 2 legworks.
At this point, firing a legwork just to attempt to grab something might not be the worst idea.
I think it's a great play. I think he's going to do it for sure.
At this point, I feel like legwork more impactful than Siphon.
What is your... no, you have to keep your security sense. You can't float. There's no way this deck can float right now.
I agree. So he's gone and he's checked Jeeves and decided to trash him in the remote.
Yeah. I'll leave it.
Change his mind. Never mind.
Legwork?
We want a legwork.
Yeah, I think legwork is right
All
here.
right, so
you can just siphon up next turn. You can go broke here.
That's right.
It's actually really strong.
He's paid 5 credits. Boom. Taking it out. He's into HQ, seeing 3 cards. This is where you want to be.
Always
and he's grabbed the Nisei.
Bounce.
This is going to be a really big deal.
Bounce Jeeves.
Oh,
so
Jeeves.
nice.
Who needs to trash him when you can just bounce him? Shuffling up.
What a play.
Getting that next
He's going to hit the
access.
other Nisei for sure.
Oh, he's found the Jeeves. He's just bounced. Not so good.
I don't think you put it back.
That's right. That's right. And he's gone
Nisei.
for the 3rd card. Oh, clones are not people.
Okay.
Not an agenda worth or able to be stolen. But we've got a reader.
It's a newish card. He just wants to know, like.
So 4-2, medical breakthrough, and Nisei stolen. Tricky, tricky position.
I think next turn is siphon, clear, run archives regularly. I think you want to get that Jackson off the table now.
He is going to need a little more money to do so because he cannot be using that data sucker in the Lotus field.
Yeah, he needs 4. I would then run a security test first.
Security test, siphon, clear.
Yeah, that's a good turn.
A decent play. I agree.
Because you're still going to get the Earthrise tick to draw some cards, so you're not really taking a full turn off, really.
Plus, the Agroplex has continued to tick since the
both
very early game, feeding both players.
So who's benefited more?
At this point, it appears that Francisco has gotten the pieces that he's needed very efficiently. His rig is essentially all set up. And
I think this is like one of the things that always happens with Agroplex. Not always. It's just something I see every now and then, which makes me not want to play Agroplex and Palana.
Particularly against security testing,
the runner.
You continue to get a huge amount of value from both of those. The Jeeves that was bounced returned to the table. He's going to give it another try.
Earthrise dies.
Earthrise back in action.
He's got 2 siphons, fairies, another legwork. Like, he is set up to. He's good to go.
And the passport is drawn at this point, not necessarily.
Well, now seeing that you have to play more than 1 card out of your hand, I think you could just security test, gamble, lay down a fairy. No, do your bank job. I mean, there's so many good plays here. I don't think you have to siphon this turn. I really think you want to do your bank job. Just do the bank job on the Agroplex. It's so good right now.
At this point, that appears to be a more efficient way of gaining an economic advantage. And frankly, a account siphon at this point
is not the best.
Would not be that bad from Jon's
17 to 12. He can still res any server he wants.
At this point, it looks like both players attempting to stabilize and get a decent position with which to score.
Ooh,
so he's gone in for the account siphon. Very interesting.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Not a bad play.
He's continuing to gain data sucker value, which could lead to a really epic run on R&D if he feels like the agenda density is high enough there.
Yeah, I mean, each data sucker is saving him so much money on that architect.
Oh, particularly with Fem and
you
Peacock
have to pump. Peacock, yeah, if you're not having to pump the Peacock would be nice. 2 tags, don't float. Security testing is keeping you in this game.
I agree.
If you lose those, you're like on Hail Mary time. Like, every run is like my life.
And at this point, do you need to be Hail Mary?
No, you don't. No, I think that's why you
don't.
don't.
Fairly stable position.
You have control of the game. You're not in danger of losing. Like, this is sometimes hard to see as a runner, I think. Like, where you're like, I need to do more. You need to do more. But Jon's at 2 points, and he's not the type of deck that's just going to win. It's not going to just happen.
Yeah.
So you've got time to build and keep this stable position you're in.
And particularly if Jon attempts to store too quickly.
Yeah, this game is kind of like seesawed. Beginning, Francisco had that huge aggression. Jon came back econ-wise. Now it's not really working out. I think it was really the Agroplex that kind of fueled Frank.
So he's gone in for a second account siphon. It appears at this point he is dedicated to floating those tags, getting that economic advantage. But to what end? I'm not sure if this is a long-term kind of play.
Okay, this is insanity right here.
The legwork coming in.
It's good, but it's insanity at the same time.
I mean, this kind of Hail Mary play could actually give him the win.
He's forgetting of some data suckers. I think it's got like 2 more on it. What was I going to say, though? I just want to see that. He's got to hit the Nisei.
He snagged the Nisei. The odds were in his favor. He's got the ability to bounce. An interesting choice, bouncing the card in the
remote. I think you bounce the R&D ice because he's so poor to re-establish that. And you could just run R&D and be like, yo, It's not that much now.
I think that is very tempting. Although perhaps he thinks that with his breakers online, he could handle whatever it is on R&D, and that he's nervous that the thing in the remote might be.
Okay, so if Jon, his turn should be trash security testing. I think the reason Frank made the play, he feels safe with the bank job, that I can come back money-wise.
Yep.
And you can, but if he didn't hit that Nisei, he's in a really bad spot if he loses his econ.
That's very true.
But he did. I still don't know. I mean, from his point of view, he may be more familiar with the matchup, knows how his deck needs to do against it. But I don't know. I think just being more having more solid foundation, there's really no real way to lose the game.
We'll see how it goes. At this point, on 6 points, Francisco feeling pretty good. It might be that he considers forcing a Jackson use and then just diving into R&D and gaining that multi-access.
Yeah, with the security testing, just go. I think it's like a no-brainer play. Run archives, run R&D. Like you have to.
At this point,
you just legwork.
You get really good.
John's doing the right thing here, trashing the security testings.
At this point, I think that's John's best out. Hope that
you could bleed him. Like I don't even like. I think you have to take a credit here. You want to res this R&D ice. You have to make it as expensive as possible, so he can't just keep running there.
Absolutely.
And like if he blanks a couple times, his only way to get back in the game is bank job. That's once. He's going to run out of steam, which is that's why I think both of us were not really feeling the tags floating.
He does also have a sure gamble. We'll have to see whether he can get there, but perhaps he thinks he has enough of an advantage. So he's installed the Mongoose. Interesting include there. He also has the Fairy in hand. I'm not sure. Mongoose signals a more kind of long-term commitment to breaking certain centuries. He's gone in and he's forced the use of Jackson Howard.
In a way, do you need Mongoose with that many data suckers? I mean, true, you could run into a problem where you get CVS'd. But looking at the board, there's not really a CVS on this board. It doesn't exist.
Although we do know that there is one in hand. But you're right that he does have the credits at this point, Francisco does, to use Fem in an emergency situation. Or he has a Fairy in hand.
But like what ice is Jon going to res with 4 credits and CVS you at the same time? Nothing you're worried about.
At this point.
So there's the Mongoose is like a non-factor.
It might not be the most efficient play in the moment, but it depends on how long he intends the game to go.
I'm saying like, because,
So he's challenged the R&D here as we
Enigma coming out. So strong.
So Enigma.
Guess how many subroutines that has next click?
0.
I mean, 1. I'm sorry, it loses 1. I got too excited. But Enigma, if you run last click, it loses subroutine, guys. Stop playing it.
Well, and particularly expensive with the Peacock, which costs 2 credits for each subroutine. So he's gone through with combination of Data Sucker, Femme Fatale on the...
Oh, the password would be so nice against this Enigma.
On the Tsurugi. That's right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'll read it.
All right. So he's got the agendas back. RDI. And he's got a whiff.
Okay, this is Jon's best situation now. He's got an extremely taxing piece of ice for him unless he gets his passport out. Jon might get back in this, man.
That being said,
he's going to be clicking
only down to 2 credits.
He's going to be clicking for a bit, for sure.
Is that Jeeves still in the outermost piece of ice there? Could that be a way to very quickly click back up for quite a few credits?
I think I would do it, even though it's going to set you back to pay 2 to res it, and then you click, and then you net only you go to 4 credits. You're forcing him to pay 5, which is a big deal for him now. You've taken away his security testing. You're also taking away a lot of tricks that he can't just lay down, another Earthrise to get more draw, or any other resources that he was planning on running.
Absolutely.
Because back draw doesn't stay. It's not like it's not a real resource. It just happens. It's more of an event that costs 2 clicks.
So we'll have to see how this is a real economic battle here. Both players really struggling to maintain an economic presence on the board.
Yeah, Frank's never going to clear the tags, and I'm pretty sure I saw him discard his 3rd security testing earlier anyway.
And that's totally fair. If he feels that he can get those really nice R&D accesses, then maybe he thinks that's the best line of play. The Agroplex contributing to Francisco's ability to get fresh cards on R&D.
Fresh cards on R&D, yeah, that's true, but the money. Frank needs money more than anything now. If he has money, he just runs R&D every turn.
That's true. Last
How much
click.
is R&D? 4? No, okay, 2. R&D is like what? 8 credits.
8 credits.
8 credits if you run last click.
With a Data Sucker.
Yeah, which he has. So if he could Think about that. If you have two secure... Yeah.
Ah, yes, the Mongoose now on the table. Perhaps that's his line
that's
of thinking.
why he put it down for Sarugi.
So that can get through the Architect and Sarugi for much cheaper.
If you didn't keep these tags, every turn he always had to go security test, run R&D. Security test, run R&D. You cannot lose the game. You see every card this guy is going to draw. Oh, why did he keep the tags?
Well, so it's down on the table. Mongoose, we've realized, is now an efficiency machine between the Architect and Sarugi.
Oh, going to HQ.
Going to HQ first. Okay. Just checking. And last click. At this point, you're feeling really good as a criminal.
The agenda density is pretty high, and there goes the CVS.
Okay, that's a very fair play on Jon's part. He's attempting to tax Francisco as
now
much
he has
as
to
possible.
pay to pump the for the Architect, which is pretty expensive. 2 credits more, but overall he's getting in pretty cheaply because of the Mongoose. I forgot about the double subroutine break, but now he's down to 2. Hey. You can't take any PD, but it's not even. Oh, Nisei.
There it is. The Nisei on the top. Excellently played by both players. Really tough on Jon's part. I think he started in a tough position, and that spiraled, keeping Francisco in a dominant place.
Interesting.